Well, good evening, guys and gals. It's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and I've got an update for you on the Goofy cart. My dash panel is pretty much complete. Obviously, I have more wiring to do once I get it installed in the body. But, oh, I almost forgot. I got to put my ignition key in the switch, don't I? I sure do. Because the ignition key is very important. Got Goofy right there hanging on, don't we? So let me go over a few of the details. Some things have changed in the process. The first and foremost, I have added this fuse block in here so that my power coming into the dashboard is fused before it gets to the ignition switch. And the other change is that I have two lights on here now, matching, both orange, thank you to my brother Cal. And I changed my starter button here, but it's not going to be a starter button anymore. That's going to be horn button. I decided after working on the wiring that because this ignition switch is not just on and off, it actually has a start position on it, and oh, I gotta tighten up my nut. I can see that. That's not gonna work very well. Anyway, that has a start position. Yeah, I thought I had that all tightened up. Yeah, it just goes to show you. Anyway, this has a starter section on it, and we're gonna use that, and we'll repurpose this for just for horn button. So here's the way it works. Starter switch. There is no power on. There is power to the switch, but there's no power to anything else. When I turn the key on, that engages or powers up what is called the light circuit. This is an ignition switch off of a lawnmower, by the way, and it's a used one. It actually came off of the mower that I bought, that we took the motor out of to go to my brother. Anyway, the on position on this does not power up any ignition or anything because our ignition works off of the magneto. But what this does do, in the on position, it is called the light position. So on a lawnmower, you turn that on and your lights automatically go on. They usually don't have a separate light switch. So what I have done in this case, the on position will do two things. One, it sends power to my tachometer. It will also, actually there will be power coming through. Let me think about this for a second. I'd have to flip it over. We're going to flip it over in a minute. Anyway, but it powers up the light switch, and you pull the light switch on over here, and all of these lights will come on, as well as the headlights, which are in this wire bundle, which is for stuff on the buggy itself. And of course it will eventually get power to this horn button. I don't have anything hooked up, that's bare. And you can see over here we have our choke cable, and obviously it's not hooked up to anything. Speedometer, amp meter, tachometer. Now let me flip it over so you can see the wiring on the back, and remember you're looking at this upside down. And upside down is the way I've been working at it most of the time when I've been doing the wiring, just because it seemed to be more convenient for me that way. My ground, because this is a wood dashboard, it has no ground in and of itself. But these four mounting points here that will be bolted into the body are also going to be my grounding points. These lights, the indicator lights, this one here comes on when I turn on the key. This one over here, flip it back over, this one turns on when I turn on the key. This one over here turns on when I turn on the light switch. So, yeah. And when I turn on the light switch, all three of my gauges will then be lit up as well. And you can see all my wiring here, and going to the various gauges into the amp meter and the speedometer. Not sure exactly how I'm going to hook up the speedometer. It's a regular manual speedometer. It's not electronic. I do have some bicycle speedometers that I think the cables will work from, but it's a matter of getting it from there and finding a place on the Goofy cart that can give me a relatively, and I say relatively accurate speed indication. I may initially just hook it up into the side of the transmission, but whatever I do, it's not going to be accurate until after we've tested it and we can figure out how it's actually going to work out. So anyway, that's all wired in. This just has lights on it, is the only electrics to it. The tachometer has lights. It has a ground and a hot for the tach itself, and this is the driving wire for the tach, which is hooked into the magneto point on the ignition switch. And this wire here, this yellow red wire with a yellow stripe, is my magneto wire, which will go down and hook up to the magneto. So when the ignition switch is turned on, it will get power. It will allow power to go to that, and as well as coming from the magneto once the magneto starts spinning, or the flywheel starts spinning and activates the magneto. So yeah, there's a few of the basic things. This is the back side of my fuse block here. You can see this junction box, junction strip over here. This is all for lights, because we have, well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights just on the dashboard. And so I had to run it into a bridge, and I didn't have a shorter one. This is what I had, so it's what we used. And it's all tied together. It has one bar that goes down this side, so it's hot on both sides. Once it gets power there, it's hot. And you'll see this wire coming across the top. This is the, let me see. Oh, I can't remember now. It's been a while. Oh no, this wire coming down here is the hot wire to the switch, and then when the light switch is turned on, it powers up this junction block, and then everything gets powered off of that. So anyway, does that all make a lot of sense to you, or is it just as clear as mud? You can see my choke cable. Obviously it's going to have to be cut down to the right length once we get it installed on the body and the body back on to the frame. So there we have it. I use these button head screws to attach my wire loom connectors on the back here, and so I wouldn't just have 3 of them that were willy-nilly. I carried out the theme all the way across the bottom, so it gives it a little bit of a, I don't know, what did you call it, a machinist look or aviation look or whatever. And I've even contemplated maybe adding a couple more up across the top, but we already have these big ones for the mounting of the dashboard. So that's it. And tomorrow I probably won't get out to the shop. I'll get out to the shop, but I probably won't get to work on the Goofy cart tomorrow. So it won't be till, well, it won't be Wednesday, because Wednesday I teach a Bible study. So it'll probably be Thursday before I get to work on the Goofy cart again. But I thought you might like to see this and see the progress we made. And we're getting there. These kind of little fussy details are time consuming. But I guess you all knew that anyway. So until next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man saying, thanks for watching, for following along, for subscribing and commenting. And I was at the dentist today, and he told me I'll have my real smile back before the end of the year. Thanks for watching. Bye now.